for these mixings. Now, certain things are implied also. For example, when there is a strong heating of the ground, then the lapse rate will change, right? And thermals will start rising up depending upon what the lapse rate is, right? If the lapse rate is very steep, super adiabatic, then there can be vigorous mixing, right? Convections can develop because of that. And once the convection develops, then clouds can develop, right? And after that, all kinds of things can happen, right? So these mixings can lead to the exchange of the properties between air parcels and the surrounding air, the development of convection, development of clouds, right, etc. Even in the boundary layer itself, because of these kind of processes, there are, say, uh, boundary layer turbulence, for example, right, eddies, for example. So eddies also act like a mixing agent, right? So all these things which happen in the boundary layer is taken care of somehow by the boundary layer parameterization which is there in the model, right? The processes of mixing that occur in the boundary layer are taken care of by the boundary layer parameterization in some form or the other, right? Similarly, the processes of mixing that occur because of the convection are also accounted for in the convective parameterization or the so-called cumulus parameterization, right? And similarly, when there is a horizontal mixing, because of the advective processes, those things also are taken care of because of your discretization, because your partial differential equation that you are discretizing using whatever numerical method, whether it is a finite difference or finite element or a spectral method. Through that discretization process, you recall, when we are discretizing based upon the forward difference or central difference or other method, you always see that we try to take into account the values of the surrounding grid points, right? Whether it is a forward, backward, or central difference, we always try to account or take the values of surrounding points and take the difference and calculate the differential del x by del y, del u by del x or del v by del y. So that way, you are also trying to mix up the properties of the neighboring points horizontally. And so is the case also vertically, because when you are computing the vertical differencing term, say del omega by del p, or del q by del p, or del t by del p, vertical differentiation of temperature, wind, or moisture. And through that also, you are taking into account the differences between one level and the other level. So through this horizontal and vertical derivatives also, in some form or the other, the mixing of the atmosphere takes place, right? So in a simple way, we can see like this, for example, when there is a strong heating, convection develops. When convection develops, now atmosphere is unstable, and there are many measures of the instability in the atmosphere, isn't it? For example, we talk about the Richardson number, right? Or when we talk about the turbulence, we talk about the Richardson number, right? Lower the Richardson number, more is the turbulence, isn't it? And more is the turbulence, more is the mixing. So all those things are taken care of in some form or the other in the atmosphere. Now let us see, once again, how this happens. For example, you can see this slide. Can you see this slide? I could not convert this into proper PowerPoint. I just
Yes, sir, we can see.
yeah, I
Yes,
just
sir.
scanned it and put in the PowerPoint. Later on, if I have time, I'll try to convert it into PowerPoint properly. So atmospheric mixing is basically redistribution of atmospheric parameters. Okay. Let me see pointer. How to use pointer? Gitesh was using pointer some time back. In the lower left corner, that is the pen sort of thing, right? I click this pen, what will happen? Laser pointer, okay. Yeah. So, redistribution of atmospheric parameter, mainly momentum, heat, and moisture. Basically, mixing is caused by, redistribution of this parameter is caused by mixing, right? Then mixing can be either mechanical or thermal, right? Now we have just so far been talking about the thermal mixing, right? Like the ground surface, the earth surface is heated, right? And the thermals develop and they rise up because of the lapse rate in the atmosphere or instability in the atmosphere. So the kind of mixing which occurs because of the thermal processes, right? Heating of the earth surface because of the solar radiation is a thermal mixing. But there can also be mechanical mixing, right? Mechanical mixing. For instance, if there is a flow over a building, or if there is a flow over a topography, mountain surface, then also the airflow will be forced to rise up as soon as it faces an obstacle, like a mountain. The flow will be forced to rise up, and as it rises up, mixing will occur, right? Mixing of the properties of the atmosphere from one level, one layer to another layer, right? So the mechanical mixing depends on the surface friction, terrain, and wind shear. Well, wind shear we have not talked so far. Wind shear also can cause mixing. The shear of wind can also cause mixing because both ways, whether it's a horizontal shear of the wind or whether it is a vertical shear of the wind, it can cause mixing. For instance, you have heard about the CAT, right? CAT, CAT, the clear
Yes,
air
sir.
turbulence.
Turbulence.
Yes, sir. Clear air
Turbulence.
turbulence.
Right, exactly. So the clear air turbulence, as you know, occurs because of the wind shear, right? And generally, there is a kind of a hazard to the pilots who are flying the aircraft in the atmosphere because they cannot see any cloud. And suddenly, when they land up into the area where there is a cat, then they will feel bumpiness because there is a strong wind shear right there or turbulence. So the wind shear is causing a turbulence, which in turn will mix up the properties of the atmosphere. Right now, that is like generally cat is in the higher level, but the same similar thing can occur also in the lower level if there is a wind shear. Right. So wind shear, the terrain, there is orography, surface friction cause the mechanical mixing, whereas the thermal mixing causes the convection. Right? So an important parameter used for mixing is the Richardson number. You have heard about the Richardson number, right? Richardson number.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So you know that when the Richardson number is less, then it causes turbulence, right? And more mixing. Lower the Richardson number, more is the turbulence and more is mixing. And what is Richardson number? It is the ratio of the buoyancy divided by flow shear, right? Which implies ratio of the consumption of turbulence divided by production of the turbulence. The shear causes the production of turbulence, buoyancy causes the consumption of turbulence. And in mathematical form, it is represented by this G over rho, del rho divided by del U square, where the numerator indicates the buoyancy force and denominator is indicating representing the flow shear, right? So low Richardson number is high turbulence. Generally, the value of Richardson number lies between 0.1 to 1, right? So when Ri is less than 1, it is high turbulence. Now, mixing is achieved through the PBL parameterization. As I mentioned, through the boundary layer parameterization also, the mixing of the values or properties of the lower atmosphere and the upper atmosphere takes place. Or the air-sea interaction. When we see air-sea interaction, then the sea surface is interacting with the lowest layer of the atmosphere, which is in contact with the sea surface, and they are exchanging with each other the moisture or the heat, right? So through air-sea interaction, the mixing is taking place over the ocean, right? And these things are accounted for or taken care of in the PBL parameterization. The horizontal mixing is done by using a smoothing factor function in the model, which can be either second order or fourth order. For example, when we are talking about the finite difference scheme, you know that you can have second order finite difference scheme or fourth order finite difference scheme, depending upon how many terms we can consider in the Taylor series expansion, right? Because the finite difference scheme, basically the fundamental behind that, or basic thing behind that, is the expansion through the Taylor series. So depending upon how many terms we can account for, it can be either second order or fourth order. So the mixing can be either second order or fourth order in the model, depending upon what kind of smoothing function we are using. For example, the ECMWF model uses a fourth order scheme. Right? So let's see now in this diagram. Can you see this diagram clearly? Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Now this diagram on the left side, it shows vertical levels of the atmosphere: level 1, level 2, level 3, right? And on the right side, you got a domain which is divided into grids, right? Grid 1, 2, 3, etc. 1, 2, 3, etc. I. So if alpha is atmospheric property and m is the mass of the air, a simple way of mixing can be done by simple averaging, right? Like alpha m, the mixed property between two layers can be just the average of the property in the two layers weighted by the mass of the layer, mass of the air. So this Lm, the mixed property of alpha, which alpha can be anything, it can be temperature, it can be moisture, is equal to alpha 1 m1 for the one layer, alpha 2 m2 for the next layer, divided by m1 plus m2. So we see that we are just making a mass weightage of the properties of the atmosphere in two layers and calculating the average property. So this way it is mixed vertically, right? It is mixed vertically. Similarly, horizontally also we can do the mixing, like alpha m, the mean mixing between 2 points, I plus 1 and ij. Let's say this is the I point and this is the j point. This is I and this is j, right? So this will be I minus 1 this side, I plus 1 will be this side. Similarly, j minus 1 will be this side, j plus 1 will be that side. So the mixed value of alpha at the ij point will be alpha I plus 1, j plus alpha ij, and plus so on, depending on how many points you want to consider for mixing. There can be 4-point mixing, there can be 9-point mixing. 4-point mixing means you are just considering 4th rounding point. Suppose you are calculating at this point, right? Then the 4th rounding points here is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you are considering the 4th rounding points. If you are considering 9 surrounding points, then you will have 2 point this side, 2 point this side, 2 point that side, 2 point that side, right? So 9 surrounding points, second order, fourth order mixing, right? So this way we can calculate them mix property horizontally. Now mass may be same horizontally. Of course, the mass will be same horizontally. So depending upon how many points we are considering, the sum of the parameters for those many points divided by number of points, whether 2 point or 5 point or whatever. Okay. So this is the way we do that. And why we do that? Why do we do that? In spite of the fact that now these things are supposed to be taken care of in the discretization of the equation, but in spite of that, sometimes numerical things are not always perfect. Right? When we are approximating a continuous equation by numerical method, then they are not always perfect. Right? And so, because of that, the instability can develop in the atmosphere vertically and horizontally because of the wind shear. So sometimes these instabilities may not be real. Real instability is different. It can be just artificial instability. Right? Artificial instability means instability which occurred because of the numerical problem, because of the approximations that we did for the equations. So numerical instability, right? So in order to avoid that and get a very smooth solution after solving all the equations, we still apply a mixing function, some kind of a smoothing function, right? A smoothing function, and that smoothing function is like averaging, 2 point average, 5 point average, horizontally as well as vertically, right? That's what we do. Some kind of mixing, smoothing function we apply. Like you have seen that when you're drawing a graph of discrete points, the graphs can be not a very smooth curve. It can be zigzag curve, right? But we apply some kind of a smoother to make a very smooth curve, right? So that means we are applying some kind of a smoothing function. So same is the case also in the numerical solution. When we are obtaining the numerical solution after all those techniques, whether it is a finite difference, horizontally, vertically, etc. In spite of that, things are not very smooth. So in order to make them look smooth or avoid artificial creation of the stability, we try to smoothen the result by applying the smoothing function. Right? Then vertically, as I said that the mixing can occur because of the wind shear or because of the instability which is caused by the lapse rate, right? And mixing vertical mixing can be either because of the upward motion or because of the downward motion, upward or downward motion of air resulting from the temperature gradient, right? Due to the lapse rate. And as you know, gamma and gamma D, right? Gamma is the lapse rate of the atmosphere, and gamma D is the dry adiabatic lapse rate. So when gamma is more than the gamma D, then there is instability, right? And that is again, as I said in the beginning, it is a thermal mixing, thermal instability, right? Mixing because of the thermal process. I also said that mixing can occur because of the mechanical process. Mechanical process means either because of the friction or because of the terrain or because of the wind shear. So it can also occur because of the wind shear. And this diagram illustrates a wind shear. For example, this is you can just visualize either in a horizontal plane or in a vertical plane. This wind arrows that you see, can you see these arrows? This diagram, can you see the arrows?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these arrows, you can imagine these arrows either vertically or horizontally, either way, right? Vertically, if you imagine, that means in the lower levels of the atmosphere, winds are weaker as you rise up, then winds are stronger, and that's what happens also in reality, right? If you go up, you'll find very strong winds at 500 millibar, 300 millibar, 200 millibar, and so on. Right? Lower level winds are weaker. Winds are much less at the surface than compared to at 850, 700 millibar. So there is a wind shear in the vertical. If you imagine this vertically, if you imagine this distribution of wind in the horizontal, that also is okay. That also can occur, right? Like winds can be less, say for example, at the place you are staying, and as you go 100 kilometer east of your location or west of your location, then winds can be different. Or if you go 100 kilometer north of your location or 100 kilometers south of your location, the winds can be different. So horizontal wind shear, right? And this wind shear, vertically or horizontally, can lead to the development of eddies or turbulent eddies. And these large turbulent eddies are basically cat. There can be a small eddies or large eddies, and that can lead to the transfer of all these properties, right? Transfer of momentum, transfer of temperature, I mean that means heat, transfer of moisture, and so on. So essentially, this is the concept of the atmospheric mixing, horizontally or vertically, and how we take care of that in the model, right? Horizontal mixing and vertical mixing. Okay, so this is a very brief topic about the mixing, atmospheric mixing. Okay, any question up to this point? Is there any question at this point? Or everything is okay? Everything seems to be okay. Family?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Naveen, are you there? Naveen,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me? Okay. कोई question है अभी तक? Any doubt now?
No, sir. Okay.
ठीक है हाँ सब कुछ okay good. Haritasri, you okay everything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay good. Shweta, everything okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, this won't be included in the first internal, right?
Why you're afraid?
No, just asking, sir.
I thought that generally all that we study before the internal, that is included, isn't it? It's supposed to be just a continuous assessment. CIA, continuous internal assessment, right?
Okay, sir.
So if you want, we can include. If you don't want, we can exclude. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that then it will be carried forward in your next CIA2. So CIA2 can have bigger topic in that case. So whatever you want, I have no problem. So is it okay? Our NWP is on 3rd. Today is only 31st August, right? So we have still 2 more classes before the exam, tomorrow and after tomorrow. 3rd will be Wednesday, right? Or Thursday? Today Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Thursday.
Sir,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday, sir.
Oh, I see. So that is the day of our practical. So there were 3 classes before the exam, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I think that this is not a very big topic which we have discussed today, and this can be included in your first internal. Even the next topic, most of it we have discussed in uniform. Like the next topic in your syllabus that I saw is short, medium, and long range deterministic weather prediction. Right, short, medium, and long range deterministic prediction. And I see that by now you are already familiar about that. Right. Nothing left to discuss than whatever we have discussed so far. So what I was thinking that till your first assessment CIA1, we can consider this up to lecture number 10. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
sir.
Are you? Yeah.
Yes.
So lecture number 10, up to lecture number 10, we can consider as a part of this CIA 1. And lecture number 11 is physical parameterization. So that we can consider in the next assessment, that is CIA 2 later on. Right? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think so. That's not because the physical parameterization lectures, maybe I can begin from tomorrow itself. It will take about 8-9 lectures in physical parameterization schemes. And we have talked about this now, horizontal and vertical mixing today. About the short, medium, and long range deterministic forecast. Well, the thing is, how do we make the short, medium, and long range deterministic forecast? You already know about that, isn't it? Because for any short range or
Yes, sir.
medium range or long range forecast, we have to have a numerical model, right? We have to have a numerical model. And you are now already familiar with many types of numerical model, whether it is a regional model or is a global model. You are familiar with that. We can talk a little bit more or elaborate slightly more on that maybe tomorrow, right? So tomorrow, maybe in the first half of the class, we can talk about the short, medium, and long range deterministic forecast before we start the physical parameter lectures. Today already, I see 3:25, right? 3:25. So you have a class after this? You have a
Yes.
class?
Yes, sir.
So I'll leave you, a few minutes from now, and talk about the short, medium range forecast, little bit tomorrow, and then we can start the physical parameterization tomorrow itself or day after tomorrow, and then we have got the examination. So on Thursday we have got 2 hours class. So first hour will be your examination, and after that we'll see if time permits. Then we can also talk about the practicals. Right? The practical also we are going very slow right now. We have to go a long way. So we'll try to talk about the practicals also on Thursday after the examination. Will that be okay?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
It's on Thursday after exam you will take class that you are saying,
प्रैक्टिकल
sir?
वाला कर लेंगे ना थर्सडे को प्रैक्टिकल होता है ना 2 घंटे का क्लास है थर्सडे को हाँ सो 1 घंटा एग्जाम होगा एंड देन बाकी 1 घंटा का हम लोग प्रैक्टिकल के बारे में बात कर लेंगे प्रैक्टिकल आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सो Avni, is that okay? Avni, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
क्या हाल है तुम्हारा प्रैक्टिकल का क्या
Yes, sir.
प्रैक्टिकल कैसा चल रहा है तुम्हारा हो गया लिनक्स वाला प्रॉब्लम सॉर्ट आउट हुआ
सर मैंने विंडोज में फोर्ट्रोन डाउनलोड करके मतलब करने का स्टार्ट किया है अभी.
अच्छा क्यों लिनक्स को
Yes, sir.
नहीं दिया मतलब you have just given up the Linux हाँ
नो सर मैंने मतलब विंडोज में स्टार्ट किया है, लिनक्स का पता नहीं, मैं विंडोज में ट्राई कर रही हूँ.
विंडोज ट्राई करो लेकिन गितेश ने तुमको हेल्प करने की ऑफर भी किया था बट डिड यू टॉक टू हिम
सर एक्चुअली मैंने अपना लैपटॉप एचपी सर्विस सेंटर में दिया हुआ है, तो मैं एक्चुअली
आई सी
तो इसीलिए उसकी हेल्प नहीं ले रही. मतलब मैं देख रही हूँ कि मुझसे जितना हो सकता है मैं पहले ट्राई कर रही हूँ.
ओके सो गेट इट डन एज सून एज पॉसिबल कर देखो ये सब करते करते फर्स्ट असेसमेंट आ गया है CIA 1 आ गया है एंड यू आर स्टिल स्ट्रगलिंग विद योर लैपटॉप एंड लिनक्स तो जितना जल्दी हो सकता है यू हैव टू डू ओके
यस सर. यस सर.
तो ठीक है आई थिंक आई विल नॉट टेक मच ऑफ योर टाइम इट्स ऑलरेडी 3:28 नाउ सो I'll see you tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay then.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Stop recording.
Thank you, sir.